Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning on in to our Valley News Now desk this morning. We are starting that sunrise up, but as you can see, still a few clouds out there, looking a little cloudy as we get this morning started. But, I mean, at least we're seeing that sunrise right now. If you're anything like me and had to wake up pretty early, you know we are not typically seeing the sun very early anymore. So I'm looking forward to the time change. I'm not sure if many other people are, but it'll be nice to see that sunrise getting started a little earlier. One more time, thank you so much for joining us here on our Valley News Now desk. My name is Alex Larson. So we're going to kick things off this morning talking about just that. So as you know, we don't have a first alert weather day today. If you didn't know, now you know. And we're going to get a check of that quickly here once I get my screen ready to share with you. Here we go. We're sitting at 33 degrees here in Fargo right now. Few snow showers. Uh-oh. Did I just say snow? Anyways, mostly cloudy, partly cloudy. We're going to be not climbing much higher. 50 degrees, it looks like, is about as high as we're going to get. But we're going to see more sun than clouds as we head into this afternoon. Quiet afternoon tomorrow, sunny skies, near average temperatures. I mean, that's promising. As we click on our 11-day planner here, tomorrow we're looking at 53 degrees, same low as today, 30 degrees. When I got into my car this morning and it said 32, I panicked a little bit. Friday, we're going to warm up, 62. Weekend's looking good, but windy, 63s for Saturday and Sunday. And then check that out, Halloween in our 11-day planner now. How cool is that? Feels like time's flying by. I feel like just yesterday we were saying goodbye to July, then goodbye to August, then goodbye to September, and now we're almost to Halloween. Whole thing's crazy. Anyways, we're looking at 48 for Halloween. Low of 36, going to be a chilly one, so hopefully you can get a sweater under your costume or on top of it, whatever works, as long as you're staying warm. Feels like, it looks like Fargo, we're feeling like 28. As we go into Fergus Falls, 23, that's what it's feeling like there. Ooh, awfully chilly. And if you're seeing any frost or anything outside and you want to share those pictures with us, all you got to do is click here on that weather tab. So I'll navigate to that again for you. Now I'm on the home page, okay? I'm going to click on the weather tab, scroll on down, upload your photos here. Nice big lettering for you here. And you can see these beautiful photos that some people have been sharing, like this one just 13 hours ago, sunset on Pelican Lake. How pretty is that? This one we got from the Combine. Pretty cool there, harvest sunset near Wahpeton. Lots of fun stuff on here. So you can also share photos to our news gallery as well. You can send us photos there. Oh my goodness, check that out. Very cool. 4 days ago, the Northern Lights. Very cool. So you can do that on our website, but you can also do that on your VNL Weather and News app. So that weather app's free to download in the App Store, easy to use. You'll have those forecasts right at your fingertips, and our First Alert Storm team can follow you no matter where you go. So we're able to give you the latest in what is happening outside your front door. Moving on to our news portion of this segment, a Harvey man is going to spend the next decade behind bars for child sex abuse material charges. Shay Miller was sentenced yesterday to 10 years in prison. BCI started looking into him in January after a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. He's also going to now have to register as a sex offender. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announcing he's going to seek re-election in 2026. Ellison sharing that news on Facebook, highlighting his work against fraud and corporate greed since taking office in 2018. Minnesota DFL Party praising Ellison, with Chair Richard Carlblum stating he fights to keep our kids safe, our rights intact, and our state shielded from the actions of a reckless president. That's a quote. On the Republican side, veteran and lawyer Ron Schutz is the only announced candidate for the Attorney General's office so far. We'll continue to follow that story for you as it develops. If there's anybody else running, any updates there. And today marks the 4-year anniversary of Nevaeh Kingbird's disappearance. So Nevaeh went missing on October 22nd, 2021. She was last known to be in Bemidji. According to social media posted by family, Nevaeh's light continues to shine even after 4 years missing. Family goes on to say they continue to hold out hope that one day she's going to come home. If you want to check out our previous reporting of this, you can do so on our website, valleynewslive.com. Over in Moorhead, it is not going to be your typical day for high schoolers. They're planning a walkout. They want to talk about issues like safer schools and ICE threats. So you may remember last month when Moorhead schools experienced not one, but two separate gun-related incidents at their alternative school, Moorhead High School Career Academy. One parent says he respects the school district, but leaders need to be listening to what the students want and how they feel more comfortable in the classroom. He said he's going to be at today's walkout and plans to join other parents as they encourage people to listen to students. They say they're going to have vests on to distinguish them from the other adults. If you want to go, make a sign or make your voice heard. Today's walkout, we're going to have coverage on that here at Valley News Live. We'll have a team there. And you can also check out our recent coverage of these incidents at the Moorhead Career Academy. That's over on your VNL News app. You can find that in the App Store, free to download, easy to use. You can find it linked to this story right on there, or else you can look it up on the app as well. Lots of different ways to navigate to that information. And the Moorhead School District is making its case in the upcoming referendum vote on November 4th. Citing years of financial pressure. Officials say the measure is critical to keep up with rising expenses. District warns a failed referendum would force $5 million in budget reductions, impacting teachers and programs. They say the need for local support stems from a long period without increased funding.
It's been 11 years since we've had a levy increase and no increase in state aid. So, just pure economics, as inflation occurs over the last 11 years, our expenses go up.
That was Steve Moore, Moorhead School's executive director there. So voters, you're going to have the final say on that school referendum. Voting's happening November 4th. If you want the full story on that referendum, including more voices from our community, check out our website as well as our app. Over in Horace, attention property owners, a key deadline's approaching. You got until 4 o'clock on Thursday, October 30th, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, to pay your special assessment bill without incurring interest. This applies to properties in certified special assessment districts, including areas like Cubs Creek, River's Edge, and the 66th and 63rd Street Improvement Districts. You can pay your bills at Horace City Hall Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also find a link to more information on this story over on our website, valleynewslive.com. And the government shutdown has impacted many federal programs, and that includes SNAP in Minnesota, MFIP. That's Minnesota Family Investment Program. At the Clay County Commission yesterday morning, they broke down what could happen if the shutdown rolls into November and what that means for those who use the benefits. So I actually went to that meeting. The sound's not working for me on that story, but I'll give you a little bit of a preview here, okay? USDA said earlier this month that there's not going to be enough money to pay out SNAP or MFIP for the month of November. That is if the government shutdown continues. So the system's pretty much locked up until funding resumes. In Clay County, here's what's impacted: SNAP and MFIP. And here's what's not impacted: DWP cash, general assistance, Minnesota supplemental aid, housing support, and regular medical assistance program. So if you are eligible for any of those programs I just said are not impacted, you can still use them. MFIP is exclusive to the state, but there's no real way to separate the federal from state portions, so it's got to be paused too. Messages are starting to roll out. They said that was starting, I think, yesterday. Messages are starting to roll out to families that are impacted. So here's actually the human impact, though. 3,400 households in Clay County use SNAP. That shakes out to just over 7,700 people, including children. It's about 1 in 8, roughly, households in Clay County. And 326 households in Clay County get MFIP. That's both food and cash for families with kids. Together, these households bring $1.1 million per month to Clay County's economy. That's through groceries, retail, and basic household purchases. So Clay County says they are doing what they can, okay? Applications are still being accepted and entered even during the pause. They say that their staff are continuing to process every application. So once federal funding kicks back in, they can approve those pending cases and minimize delays, just streamline that. They do say, even through this shutdown, that their goal and mission remains the same: provide stability, compassion, and accurate information to the people of Clay County. And if you want to check out that full story, it's over on our website, valleynewslive.com, our news app. Any of these stories that I just told you here, you can find them there. Anything that gets posted on Facebook, you see in the shows, that all goes on our website as well as our app. And that's about all I got for you here. Remember, you can find the streaming on weekday mornings here. I'll send you a push notification. If you got that app, you'll know right when I'm starting this thing up. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday and an even better rest of your week. If you're heading out the door,